It was when I was in Spain, the financial crisis came along. So people will have heard about the great financial crisis that happened in 2008. So much debt had got into the system and people had borrowed so much money that when a recession came, it almost caused a collapse of the entire financial system, meaning that we weren't sure banks were going to work. Was our money safe? All of these things were scary. A lot of people lost their jobs, a lot of people lost their houses. And it was all to do with debt and this financial system. Then 2012 came along, and 2012 was another debt crisis, but this time in Europe, where almost all of the governments in Europe went bust, and they all had to be bailed out by the European Central Bank. They gave them money to try and stop them all falling apart. And it was a really scary time. I mean, we had to buy tinned food in Spain because I thought that the supermarkets were going to shut, because it happened in Cyprus, another European country. Generally speaking, wages don't go up as much as the central bank prints money. So the central banks have been printing money at about 15% a year. So you can think of the value of money going down 15% a year, but wages don't go up as much.
Right.
They barely go up, if at all. So what's happening is all of these things like houses get more and more expensive. So how's your generation going to afford a house? You can't. It's simply not going to be affordable. So what we have to think about is also the stock market is all-time record highs in valuation. The bond market gives you no yield. So where do you make these investments for your retirement or your future if you can't afford any of them? You're being shut out of the system. So Bitcoin allows you into a different system where the expected future return is a lot. You can make hundreds of times your money over a lifetime. Okay, that's a big opportunity where you could start putting in a bit of money every month and you'll see that money grow. And what you'll learn is that Bitcoin over time, it'll go through down cycles, it'll go through up cycles, but over time, you'll be able to build some real savings. Savings that will grow faster than house prices are going up. So you're going to become richer. And what you guys have the advantage of is you've all come out of gaming. You understand that digital things have value. And once you understand that, this is the world that you grew up in gaming, but in the whole financial system, where memes have value in NFTs, where there's cryptocurrencies that allow you to make payments online digitally in these games or anything else. So it's actually pretty easy to understand for you guys. You have an advantage because all of these old baby boomers are going, well, this is ridiculous. Digital things don't have value. Of course they have value. What is the difference between having a t-shirt in the real world and a t-shirt skin? Well, if you want to wear it and represent yourself in a game with a skin, that's no different than buying an expensive t-shirt or an expensive pair of running shoes. So, you guys have an advantage. You understand this world. It's moving towards your world. The world you grew up in, known as the metaverse, which is this kind of digital world where you socialize with each other. You can earn money. You can spend money. So you actually, believe it or not, are the generation with the advantage here. And it's going to give you great opportunities. And you can be 15 years old and earning real money by using the skill sets that you've accumulated. That doesn't happen in the regular world because you need a CV and you need to get a job interview, you need to travel. But you can be in the middle of Alabama, the middle of Spain, the middle of the Philippines and compete on a global level with people for income in these games and have real money to spend on real things. That's amazing. What an opportunity. Over that period of time, I thought, well, how are we going to get out of this mess? Because the debt levels aren't going down. People now have kind of their economic futures destroyed. So the millennials who had graduated at around 2008 couldn't get jobs. The system was really kind of difficult for people to navigate. And I thought there had to be a different answer. And somebody introduced me to Bitcoin in 2012. And I realized that this is like a financial system that operates outside of the financial system, something we could all use that was safe, secure, and offers an investment opportunity that we could all make money from as well. And it was as easy to put $5 into it as it was to put $5,000 into it. And that's a big game changer because for most people, if they're young, for them to buy equities is quite hard. You have to open an account, you have to do all of these things. It's difficult. And then can you afford to buy the share? All of these things. But Bitcoin changed that. It made that everybody could participate in this new future. So it got to a situation where people, like our pensions, didn't want to lend money to those governments, i.e. they didn't want to buy those government bonds. So that's lending money to the government to finance them. So what if a government goes bust? What happens? Well, it's the unthinkable, particularly a big country like Spain or Italy or France. So what the European Central Bank did, as I said, was give them money. Where did that money come from? They printed it.
Okay.
And what happens when you print money is, think of it, if you're really thirsty and somebody sells you a bottle of water, you'll pay $5 for that water. If they give you 20 bottles of water, how much will you pay for each bottle? Well, you only need one or two to get rid of your thirst. The rest you don't want. So you're like, well, I don't want all of that stuff. I'll pay less for it. So things when there's more of something, it tends to become less valuable. So the Mona Lisa might be the most valuable painting in the world that sits in the Louvre in Paris because there's only one and everybody loves it. But if there's 50,000 of them, they become less valuable. So the central banks did that with money, and what that did was cause the price of things like property to go up, making it unaffordable to many people, and the stock market to go up, and all of these things. Yeah, so if you think of Bitcoin as this, think of it for you guys as your long-term savings vehicle, right? And your savings will go up in value over time. Great. But there's also a bigger world being played, which is this new technology of blockchain. And Ethereum is the way to participate in that. It's like being able to buy a share of the internet, which you couldn't do. So what you've got is this incredible technology with smart contracts and blockchain, where they're building the decentralized finance, which is the new financial system. They're building transfer payment system, so you and I can pay each other. I can send you $2 over your phone immediately. They're building the metaverse, so be able to have property or skins in games that you can transfer to each other and store and keep in your wallet. That's going on there too. NFTs, everyone's seen the rise of NFTs. That's all on Ethereum. So Ethereum is like this whole new ecosystem. It's a bet on the technology of the future. And again, something should be very intuitive to the younger generation to think, you know what, this is the world I live in. How do I make money? How can I make a bet on it? Ethereum is that way of making the bet. So you've got money and the future system. There's two bets there, Ethereum and Bitcoin. So I think we're at the most exciting phase of the bull market. A bull market is when the markets are kind of rocketing higher. If we compare what happened in the previous bull markets, 2017, 2013, I mean, it tends to go up a lot over this period of time. I think it finishes the year probably 200,000, and it might even finish this cycle at 400,000. So this is huge. And then it will correct again, and everybody will cry because it will go down 70%, and then the cycle will start all over again. And the idea is this is not a short-term trading thing. This is a long-term vehicle. You want the low prices, because the low prices means you can buy more Bitcoin with your money, because then when it really goes up, you'll make more. So the idea is dollar cost average. You just keep buying, and ignore these huge price rises. They make you feel good, but actually what you want is low prices for a period of time so you can stick money in when it's cheap.